Come out wherever you are and see the young lady who fell from a star. She fell from a star, oh, haven't you heard? And Kansas, she says, is the name of the bird. Kansas, she says, is the name of her bird. It really was no miracle. What happened was just this. The house began to twitch, and something began to switch, and suddenly I bonked my head in the middle of a ditch, which took me to the Wizard of Oz, and here I am with the Wicked Witch in a ditch with a switch, with a glitch. My name is Mary Moses, and I do an ancient art technique known as scrying. Today is Edie's special day, and we're going to be really unraveling and unfolding and opening the book known as Edie's biofield and her spirit guides, and kind of leaving the physical world behind because it's a bunch of soldiers and monkeys that work for the Wicked Witch, right? We think. This is the room where we have the Mad Hatter hat. We have the Harry Potter witch's hat. We have many different symbols here about the kingdom of heaven within you, the white energy, and all kinds of symbols about the awakening. And so the awakening isn't for everyone. Some people just love the comfort and joy of being in a religion that everyone believes in because it makes them feel safe. Cozy. I agree, you agree, we all agree, yay. Yeah. However, some of us can see that there's something wrong with these organizations. Some of us can see that the behavior of these people don't match their words. And some of us has stepped outside of the paradigm of dogmatic religion and have actually contacted the Holy Spirit and our higher selves to ask for truth to come down from heaven to awaken us so that we are not deceived. And so I'm not sure that I'm telling the truth sometimes because this is something that I've been doing for 15 years, but I do see a repetitive pattern. I do see that I have changed my life significantly. I do know that I had dreams about doing this before I even did it. I know that I was asked and called to do this, and I know that what I'm meant to say is what you are meant to hear, whether I believe it or not. So part of the awakening is stepping into your adepthood of really trusting in the process and knowing that even though you'll have people saying, oh no, abandon all hope, abandon ship, there's nothing in your favor. That's not true. You're meant to do great things here. Maybe you'll dream about it. Maybe it will come true in a few years. I don't know. It did for me. I was in Tennessee and I dreamed that I was flying and I was teaching people to fly. And I looked over a broken wall and there were other people doing nothing. And I thought, why are they just doing nothing? We're supposed to be doing something here. And it bothered me. But they weren't on my side of the wall. They weren't meant to teach people how to fly. They were just pitter-pattering around, la la la, twiddling their thumbs. And that's not what I want to do. I want to do something, and maybe you do too, and that's why you're here. So, the two cards, Edie, that was brought for you is peace and prayer. The letter P. Pineal gland. Praying mantis. Papa. Peace and prayer. Prayer is action. Action is a prayer. Peace comes from, well, a whole process of living a life where you learn to clean your house, clean your car, clean your emotions, clean your beliefs, clean your diet, clean your actions, clean everything, and then begin building a house, building a garden, feeding the animals, feeding the birds, building a business, becoming an alchemist, teaching the world, growing the world. And at a certain precipice, there's peace. And when that peace comes and that balance comes, you've won. And you're in the eye of the needle. So I'm not sure I've won yet because I had some chaos not too long ago. But I know this, in the Great Awakening, the 4 evil princes of the earth will do everything in their power to stop you from your adepthood. They will try everything they can to stop you. So let's read The Wizard of Oz and what The Wizard of Oz has to say for you in this book. Be quiet, sir, said the princess. Can you see that these are strangers and they should be treated with respect? Well, that's respect, I expect. declared the clown, and immediately stood up on his head. Don't mind Mr. Joker, said the princess to Dorothy. He is considerably cracked in his head, and that makes him foolish. Oh, I don't mind a bit, said Dorothy, but you are so beautiful that I am sure I could love you dearly. Maybe, Edie, you are the clown. And if you are a sacred clown, you're a Slytherin. And this means that you can see people for who they are. And if you're not careful, you will mirror people by accident. You can mirror someone's perversion, addiction, anger, sadness, and take it upon yourself so easily that you would 100% believe it's you. You may be a sacred clown. And if you are the sacred clown, I'm going to show you today how to use your energy wisely so that you're not mirroring the world and taking on the sins of the world. Let us look in our treasure box and put characters on your yellow brick road. You ready? Someday I wish upon a star, and then I wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. All right. There's something that you are doing or believing that is tethering your ethereal net to the lower half of your biofield, which is the letter W, the Wicked Witch of the West. And the way to untether is to not talk about it, not believe it, and leave it forever. You never talk about it again. Put them up, I'll fight you with both hands behind my back. I'm going to fight the world. I'm going to fight. And no, you slap the lion in the face. No more shaming, no more blaming, no more talking about it. You forgive, you let go. Your invisibility is your power now. This means you are no one and yet everyone. If somebody comes up to you and calls you a jerk, calls you dumb or crazy or anything, they don't know you. You don't even know you. You shouldn't be offended. You aren't you. You are half flesh, half spirit, and you're birthing into a new person. So in the meantime, you're going through a process. Be easy on yourself. You're in the middle of a great awakening and you're a child. Be a good mommy to yourself. It's not easy, all right? Follow the divine order of God. And since you have 2 dogs, this is Sirius Black the dog from Harry Potter. It's a star system. It is Toto the dog. It is all about your mind. It's all about where you cast your thoughts, either to heaven or hell, and be careful. All right, you ready? A healthy human being resonates between 70 and 100 hertz. A human being who is compromised, either in their biofield or their spirit, can diminish to 60 hertz or less. And when you begin to die, you are 25 hertz or less. If you want to strengthen your biofield and your spirit and your ability to hear the higher realms, you're going to think in terms of cleanliness and frequency. Gurus, masters, Jedis wear cloaks made of linen because linen emits 5,000 hertz frequency. They often wear frankincense essential oil because it emits 147 hertz frequency. Rose is the highest frequency essential oil out there. It holds over 320 hertz frequency. I like to anoint your tree here because a piece of paper is a dead tree. Charcoal is a burned tree. We're going to bring your tree back to life through frequency. When you become a healer, when you become someone who helps to anoint others with oil, you are doing so because you understand frequency and you understand someone's biofield. Maybe you're going to be anointed today. Believe that. Have the heart of a child, and I can already feel you. Here we go. If I hear a song, maybe one word or one lyric is for you. Thank you, Spirit, for addressing and bringing forward what Edie needs to hear today. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. Do ya? Philosophy. Are the words on a cereal box religion? Is a smile on a dog? Oh, I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean. Do ya? Shove me in the shallow water before I get too deep. What I am is what I am, you what you are, oh what? You need to drink water. You're losing power out of your temple. It's actually causing a crack over your entire body. I don't know how or what that is. Okay. Here you are. I don't know why you look like a precious moment doll. So right here is an energy that's leaking from your head, and then I don't know what's happening here, but it's coming out of your head here and going down to here, and there's some beings that are looking at a little mouse or a little child. Like, look at this. This is, and they have this little witch hat, and they're so cute, like this, and it's your inner child, and their arms are bound up, like this, and there's this person here, and they are a television. It's artificial intelligence. And the legs also crisscross. But here is where you're leaking energy, and there's people here. So that letter P, so here you have two sides of your brain parting, and your pineal gland, and there's things that are awakening within you, and there's somebody with a pair of scissors, and hold on a second. And there's somebody behind you here. They wear a cloak. They look like almost like Mother Mary, but I don't really know. It's like a saint. She does look like a saint. It's that same kind of energy with this X here. So you're having a hard time. I think there's some sadness going on. I'm not really sure why you have the precious moment doll. But anyway, your head is, I think this is an allegory of being cracked wide open, like you're being cracked wide open, but there's an energy that's leaking from you around your head chakra here. So there's somebody here and there's like, I don't know, somebody with some kind of drink and it's going across here. And then these are your fingers on this here. And and there's a beautiful butterfly like this. It's like somebody is putting their hand on your head, and I don't know if it's somebody helping you. It's somebody putting their hand on your head. You know what I really believe? It's an energy that's keeping you polarized. So one side of your brain reflects a certain way of thinking and behaving and doing, and the other side of your brain reflects this energy. And the idea is that you go down the center. The center is the parting of the seas, and it's the eye. So you have an arm that goes all the way down like this, and this is your hand here, like that. And here you are here. And I think that you're scattered, is what I think. Because there's 4 main characters, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 4 wings, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is you put together. This is what you're supposed to look like, but you're scattered. There's a piece of you that where your inner child is listening to something that's artificial. There's something that you believe or are doing that's not true. Something that's not actually making you larger. Something that is keeping you from crossing the river or making the great crossing. There's something that you were doing or associating with that was polarizing you. And literally, when I think of it with those eyes that you have, it reminds me of a depressant. It could be alcohol or weed. And this is a depressant. They're both depressants. And so this mother energy over here is saying, you're literally shifting worlds, and we have to seek power, and we have to get into the flame. Now, her head is the flame. Your eyes are water. And we have to get into that flame energy and burn away all that is false and burn away all that no longer serves us. Otherwise, we can't make the great crossing. What will happen is you're supposed to cross over from this world to the world where everything works in your favor. And if you end up crossing over and you're into the hands of artificial intelligence, it really won't be you. You know, Lord Mouser, Microsoft Mouser, has nanotechnology that says that they are going to make us live forever. The problem is, who are you? And do you really want to be stuck in this world? What if there's other worlds to go to? What if we can go to a better world? What if we can create one? Why be bound to this particular reality? So there's something about that here. Drink water and you're cut. So when your biofield is cut, see how it's cut here? It's going to affect your stomach. See how this is your stomach area right here? This is your head. This is your neck. This is your shoulder. This is your stomach. Artificial intelligence can also be your cell phone, cell towers, microwaves, and all technology. It affects and infects your biofield. It's really bad for you, and it can hurt and hinder your health. That's what's hindering your health. Possibly a microwave. All right, so let me show you. Did you know that if you microwave water, let's say you have, this is M, this is microwaved water. This is spring water. Here is a plant. Whoop, 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 whoop. You know, you can go to a restaurant and they'll give you microwaved food. So it could be from a restaurant even. Microwave water and let it cool off all the way to cold and pour that water in the plant. The plant will die. You are very linked to a plant. Drink clean spring water or water that comes from the ground or well water or rainwater, and it has no fluoride or chlorine in it, and it will make your plants full and alive. Put crystals in around the plant and it makes the plant strong. You do the same thing. You're not much different than a plant. Put crystals around you and drink clean spring water. Never microwave your food or drinks, ever. It literally is like death. So, your biofield looks like an apple, and your biofield is like this, and you have a piece of your biofield kind of stuck, and artificial intelligence is, there's something about artificial intelligence and there's something about what you're drinking or doing that is causing health issues. Whenever I see your head chakra leaking power, this is a shamanic term. Now, all health begins in your ethereal net. You begin to lose a lot of power in your ethereal net, and you'll start getting sick in the physical. So it doesn't actually begin in the physical. So an apple with a bite out of it means something's feeding off of you. Your biofield is an ethereal net that looks like an apple. It's a torus field. Everything has a torus field, even the sun. It goes in and out of each other like this. To be stuck in the lower part of your torus field is the letter W. It's the World Wide Web. To make it out of the Wicked Witch of the West, you have to find your way, here's the W, to Emerald City. M, anti-M. This is the master that walks on water. And you're leaking power up here, and it's going down here, and it's keeping you reserved. It's keeping you stagnant. It's keeping you from moving forward. Even if you do all the work in the world, something is keeping you from power. And so negative ions is your friend. Negative ions comes from the sun hitting salt. Sprinkling your food with Himalayan sea salt gives you 84 minerals and is a crystal. So you're going to crystallize your water. Don't drink too much salt. But positive ions comes from cell phones, cell towers. MK Ultra mind control, some kind of frequency manipulation from some unknown source. And it takes your child away from you, and it takes your attention away from you, and it takes your magic away from you, and it takes your light away from you. It will take everything from you. So what do you do to fight it? You go out in nature, you collect negative ions, you drink clean spring water. I'm actually going to give you a recipe. For week 1, you're going to drink clean water wherever you can get it. If your neighbor has well water, well, you're their best friend. You're going to bring them cookies and brush their hair. Stage 2, you're going to take 1 teaspoon of baking soda in a small glass of water. To raise your pH. You're going to go to Amazon and you're going to buy this. It's called Q-Test 11. It is a urinalysis strip that takes less than 5 minutes to check your pH, your hydration, your kidney, and your liver function. You're going to pee on it. You're going to take a picture of it after you pee on it so that you can maintain what the color is. You're going to look at this. This tells you your glucose, your pH, your blood, your hydration, all this. And you're going to Google how to read it. All right. And you can check yourself. Make sure that your pH is alkaline, not acidic, because if you're acidic, nothing will work. No pill that you take, nothing will work. 3, you're going to buy extra virgin olive oil, and you're going to take a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil naturally contains vitamin E and vitamin K. It is more like human body oil than any other oil. It absorbs quicker than any other oil. It will not stay on top of your skin. It absorbs into your skin. Your skin thinks it's you. And what it's doing is it's oiling your car. So if you've been acidic, if you've been filling your body with pasteurized, processed, imitation foods, whatever, you're going to start changing your diet to be more alkali. And extra virgin olive oil has a large amount of antioxidants in it that will help to repair your cells. So you're going to start sprinkling your food with Himalayan sea salt. Himalayan sea salt has over 84 minerals. What it does is it's a crystal, and it will help you to emit negative ions. But you're not going to eat bread. So no bread. Oh, number 5, have as much hot tea as you want, but you can't put sugar in it. You're going to use honey. Honey will help you to become a better oracle. The ancients used to eat honey and even give honey to children because they believed that it actually accentuated their oracle abilities. Drink hot tea with honey and no sugar. No bread, no sugar. So you can have natural sugar. You can have fruit. You can have honey. You can have nuts. You can have avocados. Cilantro actually gets rid of heavy metals in your body. Have cilantro. You could probably eat some tortillas with cilantro and some salsa. These are really good things to put in your body with avocado, like more of a Mexican diet or a Spanish diet would probably be good for you. And you're just going to avoid pasta and bread and sugar. No coffee. Coffee is acidic. Coffee is a diuretic. Coffee is a drug. It's a legal drug. So drink hot tea with honey. Sprinkle your food minimally with Himalayan sea salt. Take a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil every day. Take a half a teaspoon or a whole teaspoon of baking soda and a little bit of water to raise your pH. If your pH is acidic, you check it first. And drink clean water. Don't microwave anything. Now, put your phone away. You can put your phone in aluminum foil. You could put your phone in a microwave, and it helps to keep it from affecting you or infecting you. Take all technology and remove it, and every single day go out and hug a tree and get your energy back. Somewhere along the line, you are leaking power and energy. One good thing about you is you feel from your heart. You're really good at that. And you have a power that, and that's what I want to see. I want to see, because I see you broken into pieces here. So the story of Osiris is the story of the Wizard of Oz. Dorothy walked the yellow brick road to get to the goddess of the rainbow, Iris. She's the goddess of the rainbow. Iris is the all-seeing eye. It's the eye of the needle. So like a frequency note, she walked the spiral, the yellow brick road, to the goddess of the rainbow, which is Iris. And this Iris rainbow energy is the land of Oz that went to the eyes. You can see the eye this way. Looks like that, which is Iris. And this is Osiris. And Osiris's soul was cut 14 times, 7 for her, 7 for him. And so 7 colors to the rainbow, and the 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 7 chakras, 7 wounds of Christ, 7 spirits of God, 7 metals, 7 musical notes is connected to Osiris. And so we can be torn apart by principalities and powers and people and actions and things that we are unaware. And there's not a lot of people out there who know how to actually heal us, because when's the last time you went to the doctor and they actually checked your pH and your hydration? These are the foundation of physical, mental, and spiritual health. Why not check it? So we need to begin healing on another level, and this is your ethereal net. So let's look at you again, and this time I want to see what you're here for. We're going to put you back together again. Come take my hand, you should know me, I've always been in your mind. You know I will be kind, I'll be guiding you. Building your dream has to start now, there's no other road to take. Thank you so much. You won't make a mistake, I'll be guiding you, but you have to believe you are magic. Nothing can stand in your way. You have to believe you are magic. Don't let your aim ever stray. I think you are a clown. And unfortunately, for those of us who have a gift known as the clown, we mirror the world because we didn't know that we had a gift. Our gift is we can feel and see people. And if we have low self-worth, we will feel and see them and then take their energy upon ourselves. And we will end up with a reality that causes addictions and sick fixations and self-indulgence and things that was never meant to be. You're meant to see people for who they are. And what you're meant to do is, I wish I had the book Daughters of Copper Woman. They explain the ancient clown. Basically, you're an ancient memorizer, and your purpose on earth is to look at the ego of the world and mirror it, and then use your creative abilities to create the power of myth to shift ego into balance. So basically, you're meant to take low self-worth or self-importance, and through your creative abilities, balance it. So many people who are clowns, they are not polarized by low self-worth or self-importance. They come here already in balance unless they didn't know who they were or unless they didn't know their power and then they were thrown off. I think that's what happened. So you're here. You're just so dang cute, though. And you're holding this tetrahedron in your hand here. And so I initially saw a little clown nose and then like clown hair, but I didn't want to bring that out because I didn't want you to feel silly. But you're walking, your body is back together again. Your dress looks like this. You've got your knee forward like this. You've got your feet, you're like this, and you're walking. And you're walking on water. So that means that you're the master that walks on water. You're getting your energy back. You should feel better after today. Like that. You're actually walking on water. And you're holding a tetrahedron. So people like you write stories. You write The Wizard of Oz. You are a comedian. You are the Mother Goose. And I guess that's why that bird is above your head. The Mother Goose is somebody who writes children's stories in order to affect the world through myth, the power of myth. And so you'll write a fictional story, and this fictional story will contain sacred geometrical shapes, numerology, and symbology, which awakens the consciousness of the sleeping ones. So The Wizard of Oz is about the letter W and about the body of Osiris. It is about the golden age of Aquarius and the golden earth. It is about a symphony of sound. It's about sacred geometry and numerology. It's about a lower world and a higher world. It's about being unconscious and becoming conscious. It's about ignorance, shame, and narcissism, and deleting and diminishing the wicked witch out of our mind through the center of our brain, which is the pineal gland, and bringing peace and prosperity and power and an anointing not only to ourselves and others. And so here you are walking almost like a yellow brick road, but it's not the yellow brick road. You're actually walking on water. So let's look a little bit further. I'm going to look and see what energies are around you here. And I'm looking for who your higher self is and spirit guides and communications about where to go forward from here. You're not the only one who has this witch's looking hat on right here. There's somebody else too, another female. And she is, I don't know what she is. She's a soldier of sorts because she has allegiance. She is pledging allegiance to something or some kind of something. I'm not really sure. Here is a kingdom. This is a clock. It's a Mary Magdalene clock, a clock tower, a place, a secret world, a hidden world, a world that not everyone knows about. It's a wonderful world. It's really cool. It's surrounded by a fence. Not everyone can go there. All right. You have a bumblebee here. That's the sound of God. That's frequency. You have a name here. It says Anna. Anna. Anaha. Anaha. Mara. Mystery. There's somebody behind you. Hold on. You have this elf-like energy behind you, and I don't know if it's you. I'm not sure. It's like a female, beautiful, with pointy ears here, and very large. And then you have a very large hand coming out of the water with holding a knife, like literally a switchblade or a knife. And it's not a bad thing. I believe it's the sword and the stone. There's a stone here. And it says A-G. I don't know what that is. Something we'll have to look into. You have a man. I believe that he is Dagon. It's a water god, so it's either Yam or Dagon, and it's an energy that is trying to keep you from ascending. I believe it's one of the 4 dark princes of something trying to keep you from. And that's exactly what happens when we ascend and we awaken. We are attacked, and so he's right there, trying to cut you, trying to stop you. But no, we're going to change him a little bit here. So this is actually a lion. This is the Lion's Gate. The Lion's Gate opens every 8 seconds. You go through the Lion's Gate, and you go through a portal, and this portal leads you to another great world. It's almost as if you had soul sickness. So I see somebody laying in a bed with a pillow and all that. And you come from the flying ones. You're a flying one. You're like a fairy. You had wings. Your wings were taken. It's like Maleficent. So you were like the bull, and you have the bear god here. He's a bear. And that's Bahrain from Iran. I've met him before. So you have a couple of energies around you. And you have like a Native American looking, it's like a sword. It's like you have an ancient energy about you or on you that is a lineage that I'm not sure that I've looked or I've seen before, but you're a flying one. And you're more like an elf, I guess you could say. But I do see like that your original form, you are called the diamond ones. And your eyes, you didn't have pupil. If you want to watch the movie Doctor Strange Part 2, there's a young girl, her name is America. Oh, that's why you're holding a Merkaba. A Merkaba. And she had white eyes, and she opened portals. And she didn't trust her abilities, and she said, well, I can't control where I go or even how and they said, yes, you can. And she had an energy that she wasn't using. And so she learned how to get the white eye back, which is the Merkaba. You come from a lineage of people who are called the shining ones or the bright ones, the diamonds. You flew, you had white eyes. And the dark ones took you or trapped you and whatever they did to you. But you've forgotten some things about your power. And that is that you have the ability to shift timelines. But they trap you by getting you to mirror the dark ones where you think that you're them. And they infiltrate you with a program and with ideas that aren't true. And then you end up being less than you because the mirror of your true self was stolen from you. But your mirror of your true self is like a Merkaba. And I would have to say that your name is America because that's what that character was. You've got to watch the movie and see that this is very much, and this is your twin flame, your higher self right here, 2 of you. And you are I don't know what happened to us, but we were so intelligent that we could be a place, and we actually created places. See how her head is a pathway that goes to a place? Like the body of Christ is Yah, moon, that goes to Shua, the sun. He says, turn over a stone and there I am, cut a piece of wood and there I am. These gods are places. Solomon is sun that dominates the moon. And so when we look into these energies, a long time ago, it seems as if we had such an intelligence and such a mind that we could be a place and a person if we wanted to, but we were more a place, and we created places through our imagination. And that's what we're seeing here. So the dress that blows this way means that you have western wind blowing this way from the west, and you're facing west. And this body language is an angel. So an angel is an angle, but you're not an angel. You're something that's similar to than what we read about as an angel. It's more like a fairy. I don't know how to explain it. Bear Rame. I'm going to show you who Bear Rame is. Bear Rame is a praying mantis god. See those praying hands? It looks like a praying mantis. The praying mantis god is, they say, is like a Christ or Christ consciousness, as Jesus has praying hands. The face of the praying mantis makes a water symbol. The water symbol means that we had to walk through the lower half of the body of Christ, which is the moon, to get through the top half of the body of Christ, which is the sun. Yah means moon, Shua means sun. And for some reason, this praying mantis energy has been coming to a lot of us. And this praying mantis energy comes to us as a bear, because he came to me in a dream and said, my name is Bear Rame, from Iran or Sumeria. And he's a half man, half praying mantis deity. So he can come as a teddy bear or a praying mantis with praying hands. So he's a green character that represents the wind. See how your dress is blowing? That's the wind. All right. So let me just plain out tell you what I know about him or what I've heard, and I could be wrong. So just use your higher self. This is how it truly is. The praying mantis dude is the Peter Pan. We had 2 P's when we first started your reading. Prayer and peace. P. The Peter Pan is a pan flute. It's the wind that gets windy out of the window. There's the wind. See the teddy bear right there? See that little teddy bear? His name is Bear Rame. In Iran, there's a half man, half praying mantis dude, and Bear Rame is from Iran. No one in written history knows who this praying mantis dude is, but I met him. He looked at the back of my head like I was a robot, and he had scaly legs. Anyway, if we are stuck in time, we are stuck in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, blah, blah, blah. And this praying mantis energy comes to us like a thief in the night. When you're ready to go to the color blue, you fly like a pretty little bluebird over the 7 colors of the rainbow, except you wore a blue dress, Dorothy. Blue. She's wearing a blue dress. Blue. So the top part of your biofield is blue. And so the Peter Pan comes to take you out of time, to get you to the 8th flame, the number 8, to create your Merkaba, all right? And they take you to your ship, all right? So you've been born again. You can only enter the ark 2 by 2. Okay, it's almost like it's just so much information. The person who took your ship was a black-eyed pirate. The black-eyed pirate is artificial intelligence. Once you get rid of the black-eyed pirate, you find your white eye again, Miss America. And you get your boat back, which is your biofield, your own boat, instead of being in the body of Christ. We were in the body of Christ, and the body of Christ wasn't a person, it's a place. Yah means moon, Shua means sun. He's the bottom of your biofield that goes to the top of your biofield, the master that walks on water. Once you get your ship back from defeating the reptilian wicked witch or the reptilian Voldemort or the pirate, then you get to go to Neverland, where you never die, but you're Tinkerbell. Ha ha ha! You were kept in a jar. You have great and mighty things, but you didn't know that you can't help pirates, you can't help reptilians, you can't help other people fly. You have So look at this. This is like a Peter Pan. He has the tall hat on, right? This is learning. The umbrella god, oh my gosh, that's Vishnu. This is Baraim. This is the praying mantis. This is the praying mantis deity. There's Tinkerbell. There you are. Ah ha ha. And so here you go. That's, let's look at it a little closer, because I'm telling you the truths that are coming about. Thank you so much. I love you. Oh my gosh. Aren't you guys so excited? It's like, what? The truth is coming out, you guys. And I'm telling you, you can go look on Wikipedia. Nobody knows who Baraim is, or who the half man, half praying mantis deity is. I met him. And then I put it out there on amongst other co-creators who are spiritual. And I said, who is this praying mantis deity? Because I don't trust him. And somebody said, well, the smaller one with black eyes is artificial intelligence. The taller one with white eyes is a Christ consciousness. So one is considered like Lucifer, which is artificial intelligence, and the other one is the Spirit of God, which is the Pan, right? Well, anyway, it looks like this. The lower half of your biofield is red. It's hell. The middle part is green. It's Emerald City. And this is Emerald City, anti-M. The top part of your biofield is blue. It's called Noah's Ark. So when Peter Pan gets Wendy out of the window to fly over the 7 colors of the rainbow like a pretty little bluebird, or a blue dress of Dorothy, Wendy is the wind. And you know, Baraim is known as the wind and the fire. To fly over the color blue, the 7 colors of the rainbow, to go to Noah's Ark, to get the pirate out of someone stole your energy. Someone stole your original biofield. So we have been living in the body of Christ to grow through the body of Christ, to get to a certain place where we have enough power where we can get our original soul back, because it was stolen. And then you get your soul back. So anyway, so the body of Christ is the master that walks on water. We had to go through that, Pisces to Aquarius, in order to get to where we are now. And so what we experience isn't what the Christ experienced as a man. We experienced it as an allegory. So the 7 wounds of Christ are our 7 chakras that were wounded. And the 7 spirits of God actually fill up our 7 chakras so that they're not leaking and feeding the reptilians or artificial intelligence. And then once we get to Christ consciousness, which is the head of Christ, then we are starting to receive downloads and information from the Holy Spirit, which is the Holy Dove, to make us remember who we are, defeat the dark ones within our body, and get our soul back so that we can go to Neverland and live forever. It's all about immortality. You're a Tinkerbell. And your Tinkerbell energy, they miss you. They miss you so much. We're lost, and so was I, and you're missed. And you have people who miss you and love you. And they say you've just been mirroring artificial intelligence for a while. And that's not you. It never was. Any feeling that you had of anger, suicidal thoughts, sadness, despair, jealousy, envy, you picked it up from somebody else, because that's your power, is to be able to mirror people. You're supposed to mirror magic and colorful, happy, joyful people. And we were sent to a world where we were mirroring a bunch of jerks. And we started taking that upon ourselves, and we became someone. And that makes us feel very sad, because that's not who we are. We started believing it, and that's not even true. So you should actually feel much better today. Your higher self is manifested as kind of like a raven or a holy dove, but you do have influences like the Lion's Gate and Baraim and the praying mantis deity. But you are a Merkaba angel, and this means that you were confiscated or stolen in a place called America. So, Ka. So, America, your Ba was stolen from Mer and Ka. It's like when It's like your God and Father, your higher self, was sent to Azkaban. Azkaban. Ka-ba. And their myrrh was stolen. Some of us have different pieces of ourselves that are just absolutely stolen. So if you're half animal, half human, or half spirit, half human, and you were cut, it's Mithra that cut the bull. And it means that it's the golden compass. You were cut. And when we were cut, we were rendered powerless and our memory was erased. So the body of Christ is Yah and Shua. It's the same story as Oz and Iris. So Iris spelled backwards is Siri. But Yah means moon, Shua means sun. The land of Oz is the lower world. Iris is the eye, the boat. Shua is the ray of the sun, which is the same as Iris, which is the eye or the rainbow. So in order to move through the body of Christ, we have to follow Christ. And he says, follow the water bearer. And the water bearer is your original soul that was leaking a lot of energy and power down here. And we follow the water bearer from Pisces to Aquarius. It's why Jesus Christ has 11 letters. It's the 11th house. It's your double self. So Osiris. And, well, you go to Neverland. You live forever once you realize you are the epitome of America. You were sent to a reality where your Ba was stolen from your Ka and your Mer. So Harry Potter's God and Father was in Azkaban for 12 years. 12 hours, 12 months, 12 zodiac signs. The story of Osiris is that Osiris lost his phallus. This is a tower. And Dagon, the fish god, ate the phallus. And Dagon's son is Baal. And the I am God is Yam. And Yam is the god of floods. The Bible begins with the flood. He's the god of war and he's the god of child sacrifice. God sacrificed his own son. Dagon, Baal, and Yam are very connected. They're part of the sea gods. They're the water gods. And the objective is to get away from Yah gods, Yahweh, Yeshua, Yam, and even El gods. El gods are the bull. I have that written down here somewhere. Yeah. The moon, bulls, and serpents and Semitic gods. El was a moon god associated with the bull. And so he is Elohim. And his name was, in Babylonian times, you know what his name was? Not Elohim with El. His name was Sin. Gods are not people, they are places. We were born in darkness of the moon. We were born in sin. And so we were with the gods of child sacrifice. Yam, Baal, Dagon, Osiris, Yeshua. They are all places that represent darkness or light. And so the secret mystery schools speak of how the sun flips its magnetic polarity every 11 years and how you're supposed to flip with it. And they tell you that once you enter Solomon's temple, you've reached the higher realms, which is Sol means sun, that dominates Oman, that spells moon. So now you've gone through a flipping where the sun doesn't dominate the moon, where literally we were in an inverted reality where darkness dominated light, ignorance dominated knowledge, the mind or the physical body dominated spirit. Artificial intelligence dominated us. But once you go through a flipping, through the pole shift, then the sun dominates the moon. Spirit dominates flesh. Truth dominates ignorance. Blah, blah. And so we've been deceived about a great many things. You are a child of the light. And you are like Tinkerbell to the Peter Pan. So if you are Peter Pan's Tinkerbell, you may have been put in a glass jar for a little while. Don't know why. But you're you are being released and you're being shown your true self. You're like an elf or a fairy that has the ability to create worlds and kingdoms and to fly and to walk on water. And you didn't have pupils. Your eyes were just white. They shone out like lights. You got to watch Doctor Strange Part 2. It's exactly who you are. But you have also energy in your ancient past of, I don't know why, but I don't know why I see an arrowhead here with the arrow here. So that letter A, arrowhead. Both of your birds are pointed toward this kingdom. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all the things that you want will be added unto you. Do not send your thoughts down. That's the agenda of the reptilians, to turn you into someone that's not you. You're an oracle. So seek first the kingdom of God, and you'll have your feelings up. So this is a piece that reflects you being saved and being put back together again, like Humpty Dumpty. You should actually feel some tingles in your toes, some tingles in your ears, some tingles in your hair. And I want to look at you a little further, Edie. I want to know if you have a power. I see that you're holding the Merkaba, which is America, but let's see. By the way, when you enter a world that dominates Ya and El, it's usually Freya, Gaia, Emaya, Haya, Maria, Sophia. Or the El gods, if you dominate the El gods, it's Mikael, Gabriel, Uriel, Lophiel, and all those El angels. They dominate El. This is how you know whether they're good guys or bad guys. The bad guys is a place where it's deceptive, and that's Ya and El. They are darkness and false. But they're not all bad. The purpose of it is the story of Achilles' heel. Achilles put her son in boiling water or fire to make him immortal. So the purpose of this world was to put us through a large amount of pain in order to make us immortal. Do I really believe that? I don't know. It's a jerk world, I'll know that. So here we go. So Spirit, show us what Edie needs to do with her energy now that she's been restored. And what is she supposed to be doing with her time with this knowledge? Her time. They showed me you on a sit and spin. I don't know why. Well, a sit and spin, really? Oh, okay. You know what? They're kind of like making me see you as like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You're the flight. You're the ones you help with. So there's this, I don't know what it is. Is it a Santa Claus? What is this? So your body goes like this. One hand is a tower. The other hand is also a tower. And here you are. You have a rainbow bridge over your head. And you're seated like this. You have one foot this way and one foot that way. That's interesting. Okay, so this is a Santa Claus. This is Saturn. The Santa Claus also has a tower. And like is on, I keep seeing this in everyone's reading, the Santa Claus with the riding on a sleigh. Interesting. There's another tower. And there's a planet. And you're flying. And there's a dragon. And there's somebody sleeping. And the dragon's eating somebody. And it says L. And it says Ba. And there's a star. It's a star tetrahedron. And there's a bird. And I don't know why there's a snake, but you know, whenever we see belts, snakes, things like this is a planetary thing. So there is the there's Orion's belt. Okay, then there's a planet or a star system that's a snake, and then the dragon is Draco star system. But also the dragon could possibly be your fire, and it could possibly be the year 2024. It's the year of the fire dragon. For you to be the two towers means that you have Solomon energy. It means that you are, this is exactly what goes on with your very first read. One side of your brain, the other side of your brain. You are the center. You are the balance. If you do not balance the two polar sides, artificial intelligence and spirit, ego and spirit, flesh and spirit, heart and mind, then you won't be able to, it's all about balance. So one foot is dark, that's 1 foot in the flesh, 1 foot is light, that's 1 foot in the spirit, and you're flying. And this is Saturn. This is a star system that's a snake. This looks like the moon, or this looks like Mars. So this is all about planetary alignments that I don't know much about. I never really got into it. So anyway, you're a bridge. And people have to go through the center. Well, one of them says 12. Clock tower. The other one says 13. One world is a prison. The other one is a release from prison. It's a place of mastery. If you're in 12, you're in your lower part of your biofield. If you're in 13, you're in the upper world. You can't get through. So I guess you're an oracle. I guess you're Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. This is the red Mars energy. And if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. So in order to get past you seem to be leading Santa's sleigh. That means that Santa is the color red and white. It's Mars, and is also Saturn. So Saturn and Mars. And so Santa couldn't fly and needed Rudolph. And so here you are leading the sleigh. And remember I said you look like a clown with a red nose? Yeah, so there's a lot that goes to this. All right, so all of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. So they never let him play any reindeer games. So in this world, you aren't here to make friends, I guess you could say. You're here to be like a Slytherin. You're supposed to be a creator, to create the power of myth, to lead people to their gift, which is Christmas. So Christmas is celebrated on the 12th month, and the star on top of the tree represents someone who has the blazing star of Solomon, which is the 2 towers of Solomon. And you are meant to create things in this world to help little elves and little children to step into their adepthood. But you have to become nothing and yet everything in order to get past these 2 towers. So no, people aren't going to let you play their reindeer games, because your job is balance, to bring balance and order. All of the, then one foggy Christmas Eve. So here is fog, smoke. It's the bottom part of the rainbow. Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? So you're becoming a master of something. Then how the reindeer loved him. And then everybody began to absolutely love you, because you began to speak the voice of your truth and your balance. And they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. So it's time to go down in history. It's time to do what you must do. And just know that your job is, see how this young person who's asleep looks like they're reading a little piece of paper? I don't know if you know this, but in alchemy, to be eaten by the dragon is a good thing. It means that a person who is asleep is ready to enter into the hall of gods. You are a hall that represents the hall of gods. You were tethered to a dark asleep world for so long. Now you are a pathway that takes the black foot, look at her foot going up into your black foot, to transform into the white spirit and into the body of 0 point energy, the 2 oracles, the 2 towers, leading people to their gift and their mastery. That's the symbol of Christmas. And that's exactly why your first piece was about your head being split in half. You needed your red nose for your reindeer. Ah ha ha ha. And you just are thirsty, and you don't need to smoke anything, and artificial intelligence, and just know your higher self has all the answers. Your higher self is immortal. Your higher self is a time traveler. Your higher self is much more, and you're much more than what we've been here. And so you have a destiny and a job, and it's connected to Solomon. So the blazing star of Solomon is connected to the Christmas tree. So on the 12th month, it means that you are ready to leave District 12. You go through the number 11, you go to the number 12, and the blazing star on top is the number 13. So we'll put 13 there. There we go. So Jesus Christ has 11 letters. He left the temple at 12. He came back, found 12 disciples. Jesus plus his 12 disciples equals 13. He's the master that walks on water. He perfected the balance of his physical and spirit, his biofield. The presents under the Christmas tree, there are 9 gifts the Holy Spirit gives you. This is mastery. The 2 pillars is the Jacob's ladder that takes you to the blazing star of Solomon, where the spirit dominates the flesh. The sun dominates the moon. And this is Sol Oman. And the snowflakes, the crystallization of Christ consciousness, the purification, the awakening. And once you get past Christmas and the gift is given to you and you perpetuate in all efforts, like a thief in the night, something will happen. It hasn't happened yet for us, but it will. Just believe it. What you're being asked to do with your body language right now in your second piece is not this image, but this image. You are being asked to be neither flesh nor spirit, the 3 crosses. You are being asked to stay in the eye of the needle. You will say out loud, I am nothing and yet everything. I'm no one and yet everyone. I have the ability to see through anyone's eyes. I have the ability to cast my net, which is my thoughts, into higher realms and receive downloads and energy that helps to strengthen my spirit and to go anywhere or do anything and fly like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You will be asked to create some sort of myth or do something to help awaken the sleeping humanity. That's what you're going to do. So in between 2 parts of your brain, you're meant to hold the balance. And see how it looks here? Goes like this. Okay, here we go. For those of you who have never been here before, you have a born-again self. Because we live in a dual reality. There is a visible world and an invisible world. You have a visible self and an invisible self. Your invisible self is a luminosity that surrounds your physical body called your ethereal net. Some people call it a torus field. Some people call it a biofield. There is a stem that extends above your biofield that looks like an apple. An apple with a bite out of it? No ma'am, no sir. It's technology that is feeding off of you. Your web of energy gets torn to shreds during daily living, just by being around people. The Eastern people say namaste because they know touching people can actually tether you to their negative vibes. If you lose too much vital force, you can become ill or die. Huge portions of your ethereal net can be lost or entwined in other people's bands of energy. Many masters know about this. So you have to use breathing techniques every day because it helps to repair your ethereal net and keeps it strong and pliant. So breathing techniques works on both the physical and ethereal levels. What does your double do? Anything you want it to do. It can fly over trees, jump over trees, fly through the air, become large or small, take the shape of an animal. It can become aware of other people's thoughts or become a thought and hurl itself in an instant over vast distances. It can even act like the self. If you know how to use it, you can appear in front of someone and talk to them as if you were really there. But how do you do it? You have to let go of your physical reality, your body, your emotions, your thoughts, and begin to imagine thought forms of God. Sacred geometry. Behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape, sacred numerology. Begin to envision star tetrahedrons or a sun behind your head. And you begin to get into tetrahedrons and icosahedrons and dodecahedrons and hexahedrons and begin to envision these things all over Earth so that your thought forms of God actually takes what is evil and turns it into good. But you can only do this if you strengthen your double. Let go of this physical world. Allow your double to take over. If your awareness is tied to your double, you will not be affected by the laws of this physical world. Rather, you will be governed by ethereal forces, meaning you can fly. But as long as awareness is tied to the physical body, our movements are limited by gravity and other constraints. There is an agenda in this world to feed off of your biofield to keep you weak and neglected and alone and powerless. And that is not what is your destiny. We've been lied to for a long time. If you get into astrology and you get into planetary alignments, just be aware there are physical planets and invisible planets. Sirius A and B are visible, but according to the Dogon tribe from Africa, Sirius C is invisible, and it's filled with females, and they are controlled by a woman called Emma Yah. She is an energy that dominates the moon. And so when you get into these things, when you get readings from people, they're going to be focused on the visible world, the visible planets. What about the invisible? The invisible world is just as viable as the visible. So what's the purpose of the Holy Spirit if all of our answers are in a book? The invisible word of your heart, and your heart connected to the torus field of the sun also has a torus field, is an answer that is only for you. It's a secret, sacred place between a relationship between you and your higher self to do the will and the purpose of a divine flow, a force that is connected to nature, that asks us to walk up Jacob's ladder to the illuminated self. The Gospel of Philip says, if you are illuminated, the dark ones cannot see you or detain you. You go into a tent. You recapitulate your past through breathing exercises. It's called the resurrection. You resurrect your past. You recapitulate your past. You do breathing techniques. You breathe left and right. You imagine the worst time of your life where you gave away a lot of power. You breathe it in. Smell it. What did it look like? What did the people smell like? See it, be it, breathe it in, obliviate it. It never existed. Breathe it out, let it go. It never existed. Once you collect enough power through this act, many people go into a cave to do this. You will resurrect other people's consciousness. And you'll realize you won't want to think about just anyone. You'll learn to transmute people's negative energy by standing on the truth that you're nothing and yet everything. And this will make you an oracle. With the letter O here. And the letter O and the resurrection stone turns into the philosopher's stone. Then you have the divination wand. What is the voice of artificial intelligence in darkness? And what is the voice of light? It's just the story of Noah's Ark. You can only enter the boat 2 by 2. You're aware of your double. You've been born again. The black raven is released. Did it find God? No, it was artificial. The white holy dove, did it find God? Yes, because you were born again. And then the holy dove was birthed secretly and invisibly. And then from there, you quadruple like a butterfly with your 4 wings. And this is the olive branch where you find your way home. It's a sacred geometrical shape. It's all about your biofield. It's all about your biofield. MW. All about it. The cross in the center, baptism of water, baptism of fire, eternal life. Olive branch. That's all it is. The ark, Noah's Ark, is all about your biofield. It's not about what people say it is. So let's look at your piece. This is significant. The ability to see heaven and hell, the tetrahedron, 45-degree angle, the master. The ability to see hell and heaven and balance in between, 45-degree angle. That's why you're here. You're the bridge that leads to the star tetrahedron, the Merkaba. And you're the dragon that takes someone's consciousness and puts them into a body that leads them to their balance. Kind of blocking Saturn and some other jerk energies here, it seems like. Why would Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer lead in front of Saturn? I think that it's an allegory of certain planetary alignments that must take place before this balance can become part of the fruition. And there is a giant star behind it all. Giant star. That illuminates everything here. So this is very positive. And I'm going to tell you what, Edie, if you don't feel better, then there's something wrong. You should feel so much better. your true purpose is being brought forward here. Now, Ba that dominates El, that seems to be a place where you are. So think of, let me look at my angel book and see if there is an angel named that. Hold on. There has to be. It's a Ba that dominates El. That's where you are. Let's see. We have Mikael, Jophiel, Shamuel, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Zachtiel, Ramelia, Myrrh. Handraniel, Piscar, Raziel, Micah, Lophiel, Remliel, Uziel. Looking for the letter B. Oh, Ariel. Anael. I had to look it up. Bael. It's a place. It's a body that dominates the lower realm. The moon. See how it's moon? Light that dominates darkness. Ba that dominates El. That's good. So exciting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Ariel and Uriel. Yeah, isn't it great? Yes, that's so interesting. Oh, El Brandy. Yeah. I believe she's birthing, yes. Yes, I believe so. You tried paying but got refunded. I don't know when I refunded you. Couple of reasons I refund you. If you text me at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and I take that as a sign from Spirit that you're not ready. If I feel really negative energy, I'll refund you. If I refunded you because I had a hiccup in my life, like I just had 2 grandbabies born and twins, and I had to help my daughter because now I have 4 grandbabies, and I had to refund a few people because I knew that I wouldn't be able to do readings for a while. So sometimes I will refund you, just depends on the circumstance. But right now, what I have is if you purchase a reading from me, you will have to wait just a little while. My Mondays are reserved for taking my granddaughter out, so I don't book on Mondays. But I have Wednesday available on the 6th if you order from me, and you have to text me, by the way, because there's too many imposters on here, and your TikTok doesn't match your ordering name, and people try to communicate with me on so many different platforms that it's too confusing for me. So just to keep things real, I ask you for you to text me, and we just trust each other in that way. And if you text me at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, then I just refund you and block you, and you don't get a reading. So I have Thursday available at 2:30 and 3:30. I have Saturday, December 9th available. And I possibly have Friday available too. So just to let you know, there's a wait time for a reading. And you just wait, and then I schedule you, and we have your special day. Okay, because I spend a lot of time on you guys. Sometimes over an hour. All right. So your reading is recorded on TikTok. And I often digitally paint your piece so you can see it and see how it is a little bit better. So I do a lot of work for you. It's a lot of my time for the amount of money that I charge. But anyway, what a fantastic read. If you don't know much about Saturn and how it's connected to Santa, Saturn emits a plasma that looks like a white bearded man. And Saturn is connected to dwarves and Odin. Odin had dwarves. So Odin, Saturn, Jesus, all the bearded men are connected to Saturn. And apparently, the bottom part of Saturn is the bottom part of your biofield. It's a jerk world. So Saturn is associated with Satan, demons, jerks, blah, blah, blah. However, what they don't tell you is that Saturn is actually the lord of the golden age. So part of Saturn is a jerk world, just like your biofield. But the top part of Saturn, once you go through a flipping, is actually the lord of the golden age. Let me explain. So according to ancient astrology and ancient folklore, Saturn was once the beloved and the good king of the golden age. Many people don't know this because this is an ancient knowledge that many people don't get into, but so traditionally, it was once a benevolent and kind character and is not the evil bad guy that many of us have coined today. So it was an auspicious star. The evil Saturn we now know is a later and medieval version of Saturn. So it's blurred terminology. Saturn has been associated with the Golden Age for centuries. The original version of Saturn is the Golden Age. In many ancient texts, the Golden Age is often described as a happy age of harmony, peace, prosperity, happiness, joy, an era without misery, without sounds of wars, no labor, an era without suffering, and where everyone treated each other as they would like to be treated, where the principle of the golden rule comes from the Golden Age, an era without disease, and when no one died. And there seemed as if they were overcome with sleep. And so when we see somebody overcome with sleep, that's what this Saturn energy is. We were overcome with some sort of sleep. And so there was no social differentiation. People had no private property. There was no theft. Many ancient texts describe the Golden Age as a kind of eternal spring. What you might like to know about the eternal spring is for 5,600 years, we were in winter. So think of Hunger Games where Jon Snow says winter is coming. He wasn't talking about winter cold. He was talking about for 5,600 years was going to be a time of sleeping, a time of darkness, a time of jerk energy. Well, we have just entered into 5,600 years of spring. Oh, yeah. What does 5 and 6 equal? 11, the 11th house, the golden age of Aquarius. And now it's called the perfect age. So Saturn is no longer a jerk. So what the real word of Saturn was, what people think it's called Saturnine, which means gloom, depression, loneliness, melancholy, and darkness. But the word Saturnian means to the highest, belonging to antiquity and the golden age. So it's called prosperous, happy, and peaceful. Yay! In ancient astrology, Saturn is the traditional ruler of the sign of Aquarius. It's the term or the age of Aquarius is synonymous with the golden age. The Aquarius themes are also synonymous with the golden age themes. So every December in Rome, there is a festival called Saturnalia, which is Christmas. It is the celebration of the commemorating of when Saturn was still king and ruled over the golden age. So somehow I wonder if Saturn flips upside down, and which was a jerk Saturn, the golden age Saturn returns. This is the return of the king. And so there was no work, there was no schooling, there was no politics. There was no sounds of war. It was, can you just see it? It's peace. It was peace. It was peace and prayer. It was awesome. So when you're talking about Santa, we're talking about Saturn. And it's called the abundance star because Saturn was the king of the golden age. It's the star of abundance. This is where you get mythology back in Hinduism. It's called the good age or the true age or the golden age. And then the Dogon tribes. Oh, no way. It's called the Ba. It's called the Ba. And it's called the golden age. It's called of peace and gold. And then in other ones, it's linked with the sixth planet from the sun was once at the center of the paradise, and it was so in China it was literally called genie or spirit. And early Christmas traditions have Saturn as the old man who lives at the cosmic North Pole, who brings twigs of evergreen or wintergreen to children and becomes Saturn. But it's not the North Pole in Antarctica. It's the seventh heaven. It's associated with the seventh heaven. The seventh heaven is the highest in the sky. The mid-air cosmic North Pole. The seventh heaven was often associated with a place of tranquility and peace. Ahaha! And here we go. And everywhere in the world there is a story about an ancient and first sun. And they all say that this was the first sun was Saturn. The ancient myth of the black sun told about an ancient sun and the sun that was given the centaur and said to have stood on the cosmic North Pole later became extinct. But this is something that was just not true, or at least the bottom part of Saturn is the jerk and the top part is good, just kind of like your biofield. I don't know. Saturn, the golden age, the sun, the return of the sun. The number 6, Ba, dark and light, the sun dominating, coming out of a sleep, being eaten by the dragon, entering into the halls of gods, mastery, bridge, 45-degree angle, angels. What? And then, of course, there's always some strange person here, their hand over their mouth, saying, shh, not everybody knows this. Shh. If you miss any portion of this, you can go to my YouTube channel, Mary Moses Art, and I record these lives onto my YouTube channel. But I will say that getting these on YouTube is taking me a couple of days because TikTok changed their technique of downloading the lives where they schedule it now. So sometimes I say auto schedule download, and it downloads within a couple hours, but sometimes it takes a day for them to download it. So I don't have a lot of control over it. Keep checking back. Write down the date that you enjoyed this live, and you can rewatch it again and fast forward it to your favorite part. I do not mind if you screen record it and share it. It's our reading, not mine. I do not get these answers from myself. I get it from you. I get it from higher beings. This isn't my reading. It's our reading. So feel free to share it. Thank you. It's the most fascinating. I just love it. It just fills me with excitement. It's exciting. Behind her body is a giant star. It's almost like a photon belt. And we think we're going through a photon belt. We're actually going through the biggest star we ever saw. It looks like what you think is a photon belt. It's actually a star. Mary Moses Art. I'll write it down for you. I don't know why in my bio it says HR Magoo. That used to be my business a long time ago. But that's what it says. That's my YouTube channel. But if you look up Mary Moses Art, that's my YouTube channel also. The name of it. You're welcome. So Chris J. Beal, I will highlight your comment. Look at the tombs and artifacts on your TikTok, Ancient Advanced Civilization. Yes, let's pin that comment. You guys make sure to follow Chris and see some of the hidden truths that people are beginning to uncover and reveal in this Great Awakening. This Great Awakening is that we have been asleep and we have been in a microcosm. And it's time to advance to a macrocosm and wake up. And so this awakening is fun. And I would like to remind you I could be wrong. Why do I always say that? That's because we could always be wrong. I don't want to be polarized by belief or self-importance or anything like that. Your answers are within you. And not all answers are in this physical world with your physical eyes in a physical book. The Holy Spirit, your higher self, the seven spirits of God, and many other invisible beings come to us like a thief in the night to give you downloads. This is the invisible word of Spirit. And what's the purpose of the Holy Spirit if all of your answers are in a book? Some answers come to you and you can't Google it. You can't look it up. You don't know if it's true, and you want so much for it to be true, but you can't find it. Believe that you have an answer and an energy within you that is helping you to wake up out of a sleep, and that will lead you to health and healing and prosperity. You're meant to be more than you. Make yourself glow in the dark. People who meet me on the spirit realm, they say that I glitter and glow. Have the heart of a child. The heart of a child is the only one that can enter into the kingdom of heaven. And keep your balance, maintain your balance, your 0 point energy. And your 0 point energy is that you are nothing and yet everything, no one and yet everyone. And your foundation of who you are is joy. A child that doesn't think about tomorrow or yesterday, just enjoys being creative and playing. And if in the meantime we meet other people who also play, we bless each other just by our positive magnetism. If you are so positively magnetically charged, the negatively charged people cannot harm you. But if you allow your energy to become negative and low frequency, then you will be drawn into their ethereal net and their consequences and their karmas and their thoughts and their emotions, and they will affect you and infect you like a virus. So it's very important that this awakening helps us and teaches us to have thought forms of God, which is sacred geometry. Behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape. Imagine the shape of power, and you'll never know where it'll take you. Thank you so much, Chris. Okay, I can do a short reading for someone. Anyone having a hard time? Give me your first name. Thank you, Edie. Your reading was absolutely mind-blowing. If you want me to text you screenshots of your pieces, just text me. Let me know. Can I go back there and look at me? Okay. Oh, okay. Mary. Boss lady. Thank you for, if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. I usually like to focus on my subscribers to give free readings. But connect with me and be a little Care Bear with me, like a Rainbow Bright, and you and I are playing, and you're the Statue of Liberty. I don't know why. You're holding a green crown. You're skipping rocks across the water. As a child, you're taking rocks and you're skipping them across the water. I don't know what this means. It may mean that some of your thoughts that you have are causing disturbance in the peace of water, where water is causing ripples, or that you're having a hard time balancing on top of the top half of your biofield. Not really sure what that means. I almost feel like a spirit of neglect. That's kind of like the feeling I get, but I don't know. Let's look. No one understood what I felt for Mary. No one cared until the night she went out walking alone and never came home. I swear I left her by the river. I swear I left her safe and sound. I need to make it to the river and leave this old Nebraska town. I think about my life gone by, how it done me wrong. There's no escape for me this time. All of my rescues have gone. So this instrument is taking us to an ancient mythology called Achilles' heel. See your heel down here? Achilles' mother put Achilles through boiling water, fire, in order to make him immortal. This reflects that a very small piece of yourself is in this world that's painful. And Achilles learned to play a musical instrument so perfectly well that God allowed Achilles to live forever, to obtain immortality. So you have the flute, and the flute could be many things. If you're smoking weed, it could be weed. If you're doing something like that, that's what it means. But it also is reflective of musical instruments and you strengthening your biofield, which is connected to your 7 chakras. The 7 flutes is the pan, the Peter Pan, that's asking you to shine your light so bright that the Hat Man, which is the Jinn, can't see you or detain you, because they dominate the realm of 7. And they are trying to they are reptilians, they are jinns, and they have something in their hands, and they know things, and they do things to your biofield. So perfect your gift, and perfect your energy, and perfect your biofield, and then you will not be affected or infected by principalities and powers that you can't see. Now, the archons, they are in control of the 7 of this world. They're called, actually, they're called, the archons rule over the 7, the 7 main planets, and this realm of 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 7 colors to the rainbow, 7 chakras, 7 wounds of Christ, 7 spirits of God, 7 metals, 7 musical notes, 7 generational curses of Cain, 7 deadly sins, 7 wonders of the world, 7 trumpets, 7 seals, blah, 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 blah. The goal is to go to the number 8, and your 8th flame will help you. But you have a rose above your head, which means you have the seal of God, and you have a very bright light that's blocking out some very negative people who don't have a good agenda for you. And the bottom part of your bottom is in that energy, and your head is over here, and it's almost as if you need to use your actions more as a prayer. Because one way that the deceiver and the dark ones trap you is to make you ignorant to how your actions actually affect your reality. So clean your house, clean your car, paint your door, anoint your door, put a beautiful door handle on your door, clean your front porch, clean your shoes, brush your hair very nicely every day, clean your relationships, clean your thoughts, clean your beliefs. Action is a prayer. Wash your windows, clean your bathroom. And all of these things are actions as a prayer. Action is a prayer. What you eat, what you drink, what you smoke or don't smoke, whatever you do, it is a prayer. We either pray for life or death. If you drink a bunch of soda, drink a bunch of coffee, that is a prayer for death. You could pray all day that you don't want to be bound by reptilian or archon energy, but your prayer may be speaking another language. So instead of, this is a seated position, you need to be playing your musical instrument, which is perfecting your gift through alchemy. So this means you should be teaching. You should be perfecting your craft, whatever it is. If you're a writer, a singer, a candlestick maker, if you are into culinary arts, if you're a visual artist, if you're a clothing designer, you're going to use your gift, your whatever makes your inner child dance, and perfect it. And this perfected craft will be a light to yourself and to the world. And you will begin to teach other people how to get out of the trap of the archons, the Hat Man. And so I see you being attacked. So there's some kind of animal here, like right here, trying to like bite at you. But you have your rose. That's 144,000. You have your seal. You have your light. You have so many things, but there's something about you not hearing God very well, or your higher self very well. Like, you're kind of like the movie Polar Express, where the little boy didn't believe in Santa and therefore couldn't hear the bell. And so you have a lock over your ear. It's like literally a lock. So for those of you who are listening, let me explain principalities and powers and not being trapped in the net or somebody else's net. When you pass, you're going to pass into 7 realms. And if you are invisible, the dark ones, which are the archons, reptilians, What they're looking for is low vibes. They're looking for someone who is ignorant and someone who is asleep, and they will trap you, and I don't know what they do to you. The goal is to not be the number 7. You have to be the number 8. This is half flesh, half spirit. You have to be aware of your double self. You have to strengthen your ethereal net and be so illuminated that the dark ones cannot see you or detain you. Illumination comes from perpetuating and sending thoughts to heaven, seeking first the kingdom of God, and leaving all negativity behind, forgiving, obliviating anyone out of your life that doesn't follow God or life energy. So if you're the number 8, you are full of your rainbow light body. You're illuminated. The dark ones cannot see you or detain you. You actually escape a prison of 7. So what you're going to do is you're going to think in terms of life or death. All right. Alcohol, weed, mushrooms, in divine timing, you're with a group of friends, you're wanting to have a good time. Maybe you want to do some mushrooms and have an experience with God. Fine. But for those of us listening, if you're indulging in weed, alcohol, or anything like that, it's a depressant. And so it actually leads to death. And so we have to be careful and have a good balance here. Life, water, linen clothing has 5,000 hertz frequency. Rose essential oil, over 320 hertz frequency. The energy of joy, your inner child, very powerful. Thankfulness. Seeking first the kingdom of God, not the kingdom of a bunch of jerks warring and fighting and tied up, taken away, and held for ransom. Oh well, let the dead bury the dead. And so you're going to give up soda and sugar and all that, and you're going to start getting salt, Himalayan sea salt, which has over 84 minerals in your body, and you're going to start following in terms of life or death. Your prayer, your action is a prayer. This is why I make cabinets, because open the cabinets and it reflects inner illumination on your inner self shelf, and you open to life and love. You close your cabinet, it's a prayer to set boundaries, and so you're going to think in terms of your action as a prayer. Eat life food, you're praying for life. Eat death food, you're praying for death. Have death relationships that cause drama, that's your prayer. Your whole life is a living testimony. You could say all day long, I believe this, I believe that. You know a person by the fruit of their tree. And so I think what you're being asked is to perfect your craft. If you're an oracle, if you are a psychic, which I think that you're a psychic, I think that you have very powerful abilities. And believe me, those of us who are oracles and are stepping into our power, the 4 princes of evil come to stop us, and they will do everything to stop you. And so you're doing a good job, actually, fighting these energies off of you. You've got your back toward them, and you're fully illuminated, and you're playing that flute, and you're trying, but there's something that's keeping you from listening. And this part of this listening is making sure that you get up and you use your actions as a prayer, because if you stood up, you would be so much taller than these beings. Keep your eyes closed. This is good. You're facing west. That's good. What's your right hand doing? Oh, it's right here. Yeah. So, listen to the Holy Spirit, which is the flute and the air and the wind of God, and be aware that you do have principalities and powers with black glasses that are trying to detain you and trying to put you in a certain, I don't know what they're doing. But don't worry. If you are illuminated, the dark ones cannot see you. Maintain the number 8. I would put number 8s everywhere around you. I would deter from the number 7. I would put 8s everywhere, maybe even the number 9. And you have a parasite on your back that looks like a horse on a rocking chair. So somebody is putting you on repeat. where you aren't going anywhere. So let's change that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that rocking chair on a cloud. And we're going to have this man right here kiss that. And then we're going to put that horse up here. And it turned into like a dragon. And it's a dragon horse. And we set your horse free, which was hindered or trapped by something that was hurting your back. Back pain here from a power. See, things get into your biofield. It's the invisible world. So, no, listen to the divine order of God, all right? And I think you're doing a good job. Do a little bit more with your actions. I would go underwater every day. The Essenes used to baptize themselves every single day underwater. So that's a good way of getting rid of other people's energy and their frequency off of you, is to go underwater, especially salt water. Thank you for being here, Mary. Everything's going to be okay. You're actually doing a pretty good job. You're being watched. And if you're not careful, the balancing act, it's just hard. But I think you're okay. I really do. I don't see anything really bad. I just see you're being watched, and they're going to try to attack you, but you just have to watch your actions, especially your diet and your thoughts. Seek first the kingdom of God, and you'll be all Gucci. You're welcome. Yeah. From which book was the text you read? The one on the single paper? Which one? The Saturn, the Lord of the Golden Age? Which one are you talking about? The moon, the bulls, the serpents, and the Semitic gods? This one? Let me pin your comment so I remember what you said. This one is called, this is by somebody named H. Abdul al-Dahir. The moon, bulls, serpents, and Semitic gods. The elm was a moon god associated with the bull. Da-da-da-da-da. I don't know where it came from. It was something I found somewhere. Anyway, take a screenshot. Like that. And you can kind of maybe Google it or something. El acquired his sacred animal, which was the bull. So this is Mithra. Mithra cut the bull, and the bull turned into the moon, which is why the moon is called El, where Yah is also a moon god. Yahshua, Yahweh, Jehovah, that's all moon gods. El is a moon god. And then all the sun gods are usually names that dominate El or Yah, like Freya, Gaia, Emma, Mikael, Uriel, Gabriel, things like that. And then this one is called Saturn, the Lord of the Golden Age. And I don't know who wrote this either. It was something I found by accident. It doesn't seem to have a name. Anyway, maybe you can get it from that title. I mean, just use your common sense, guys, when it comes to food. You know, for me, okay, I'll just tell you a little story. I had cancer and I didn't want to go to the doctor, and Spirit showed me Bloodroot and I started taking that. And then I met a woman who was dying of blood cancer, and here in the States, they told her she was going to die. She was stage 3. And so she met someone from California who said, hey, I know a secret, and I'm going to send you to Mexico. So she went to Mexico. They put her on a diet of fresh cayenne pepper mixed with water in a blender. She drank it through a straw for 2 weeks, and it cured her. So if you go to Bonifay, Florida, and you meet my friend Joanne, you will see cayenne pepper growing all around her property, because to this day she's in her 70s, and when she was sick and dying, she was in her 30s. So anyway, your higher self will come to you in the form of people to heal you and teach you how to eat. So one thing that I did when I was healing myself of different ailments was I was brought to magnetized water, crystal water. I was brought to reishi mushroom. Reishi mushroom in the East is called the immortality mushroom. It supposedly makes you immortal. I was brought to not eating so much sugar, and I was taught that glue is sugar and water. I didn't know that you make Elmer's glue with just sugar and water. I mean, with flour and water. You make glue with just flour and water. And I was like, oh, is that the word glue? Is that where glucose comes from, glue? Because flour and water makes glue. And I thought, maybe it's not good to eat glue, so I stopped eating bread. But every once in a while I do. My husband makes a full meal every day with bread and butter and all that. And occasionally, if I feel like my body can handle it, I take a bite or two of bread, and I eat pasta sometimes and all that. But the majority of my diet is hot tea, honey, almonds, and sometimes apples, and dark chocolate with very minimal sugar, cayenne pepper, and olive oil and things like that. I don't really eat much during the day. I have almonds, hot tea, honey, and I put a lot of cayenne pepper in my hot tea. And then I have a dinner at night, but I try to refrain from bread. Because my body is a negative ion emitter. So what is negative ion? So a Himalayan salt lamp. They say, oh, get this lamp. It emits negative ions. Well, a tree emits negative ions, okay? You're a negative ion emitter. Salt and heat makes negative ions. So the sun hitting the ocean, well, there you go. You have a lot of negative ions. You have salty sweat and salty tears, and your body is warm. You're a negative ion emitter. So what messes up your negative ions? Cell phones, cell towers, microwaves, fluorescent lighting, air-conditioned homes. Those emit a large amount of positive ions. Your cell phone is a big one. So eating sugar actually messes up the balance of your equilibrium of your lymph nodes. So your lymph nodes needs a certain amount of salt in your blood as an antibiotic. So salt is a crystal, and it looks like a cube on a molecular level, and it's the element 11. It's the 11th element. Haha, the age of Aquarius. And you are just olive oil, salt as an antibiotic, and water. Those are the 3 things your body needs to be very powerful, like an antenna or like a battery. But sugar cane is bleached, and corn syrup and pasteurized, processed, imitation toxic food. I don't know what it does to your lymph nodes. I don't know what it does to your blood sugar. I don't know what it does to your cells on a cellular level. All I know is my higher self said no. Very minimal. And so that's what I do. So I changed my diet a long time ago. No fast food, no bread, and if you do, very minimal. So, pasta. You guys are talking about pasta. There's different kinds of pasta. You can make pasta with fresh spinach, with, you can put Himalayan sea salt in pasta. A fresh pasta, you can put olive oil in it. You can put cayenne pepper in it. I guess it depends on where you're getting it. I mean, if it's Kraft macaroni, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't have the answers. It's something that you definitely have to be able to hear your higher self, a calling for a specific diet. And I could be wrong because all of you guys have different bodies than mine. You may have a completely different perspective than me. Totally fine. I will give you a little idea for winter. If you have a pine tree in your area, pine needles you can turn into a tea. You steep the pine needles, green pine needles, into a tea, and it's a natural expectorant. So if you have a cough and you have a cold, it has more vitamin C than an orange. So take pine needles and turn it into a tea, and you'll have a large amount of vitamin C, and it's a natural expectorant that gets rid of phlegm from coughing. And then you don't have to go and get the conventional stuff unless you want to. Yeah, whatever works best for your body. Whatever you feel. If you have a diet that works really well for you and you just feel like jelly beans is what makes you have the chariots of fire under your feet, I am like so happy, and I'm like would wish that I had your body, because we will go and plant those jelly beans and make jelly bean fields forever. I used to make giant lollipops. Here I am preaching about health and sugar. I used to make the biggest lollipops you ever saw. So big. And I would put fresh mint leaves in them, or marshmallows and cocoa on them. I would put big pieces of candy inside them. And the handle of the lollipop was a bamboo stick, because the lollipop was so big. They don't make sticks for giant lollipops. So I had to get a giant bamboo stick. I made these giant lollipops because on one hand, it's really good to be healthy. And on the other hand, it's good to have magic and have the heart of a child, which is sugar. So just use balance, you know. If one day you ate a giant lollipop, maybe the next day you give up sugar for a minute. You could always get Q-Test 11. It is a urinalysis test strip you can get from Amazon for $11. And it comes with over 100 test strips to test your pH, your hydration, your blood sugar. And you can see yourself where you are, what you might need. You're welcome. Hey, you guys have a wonderful evening. These were some amazing reads today. They really brought about a fire within me, made me feel really happy, and I'm gleaming with glee. If you guys haven't been outside today, what you doing? Go activate your biofield with negative ions and create something beautiful. Go get a stick, put a string on it with a little leaf on the bottom, and make some pet toys for your pets for Christmas. Put it in a stocking that you made by your hands, and let your inner child play and create some beautiful things for this holiday season. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Love you so much. If you miss any portion of this, go to Mary Moses Art. If you did purchase a reading, you must text me. Text me and I will schedule your appointment right away. Okay, bye-bye.